Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope my voice sounded deeper that time, because I noticed when I re-watch videos, my voice sounds really high and feminine, and I didn't know it was like that. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm nervous, so maybe that's why it's getting that high note. Not that any of that matters. Today, I'm going to do a Top 5 Wednesday video again because, again, I have stuff to say about this week's topic, so I'm excited that I get to participate yet again, second time in a row. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is favorite underrated books. And let me read from my phone here. It says, give some love to those books that aren't as widely talked about, those hidden gems, those books that maybe used to be popular, but people have forgotten about and they still some love. I guess they still need love? I don't know. There was a word missing there. The first book I'm going to show you is Cold Mountain by Charles Frazier. And you'll probably see me hold up this book and mention this book many times. This had to make the list. I hardly ever see anyone talk about this book, and I have no idea why. I think it's very underrated. I don't see anyone talking about it, and it's such a beautiful book. It's such a beautiful story. It's about a man who is a deserter from the Civil War, and it's about his journey back home to the Appalachian Mountains, specifically Cold Mountain, which he loved. And it's a love story, and it's a war story, and it's just has these gems in it that are just so beautiful to read. Let me see if I can find one. Alright, I couldn't find one quickly. I've written down several quotes from this book. I don't like to mark up my books, so I didn't highlight anything. I usually just take separate notes. But it's so beautiful, and I want more people to read it and talk about it with me. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it just speaks to me a whole lot because I live in the place he's trying to get to, and I can identify with that feeling of having to get to the mountains. Other people who live near, in, or around mountains will be able to tell you this is a common feeling. Once the mountains get in you, you can't get them out. You can't get them out. They'll stay with you for the rest of your life, and if you don't live near them or in them, you will be trying the rest of your life to get back to them. And that's just how I feel, and that's how the main character Inman feels, and so this book is just a masterpiece. The next book is The Yearling by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. And I haven't seen anybody talk about this book on BookTube yet. This is a classic. I actually saw the movie before I ever read the book. I read the book for the first time maybe 2 years ago, and I haven't read it since. I want to read it again though. This is a gut-wrenching story, or to me it's gut-wrenching because it's about animals and a lonely boy, and he just so wants a pet. And he finally gets one, and it's heartbreaking, but it's fun too, because, you know, and it's about more than just his pet. It's about his life with his mom and his dad, and they're farmers trying to eke out a living. I can't remember exactly. I think it takes place in the Florida Everglades, and these are pioneer type people, so it's probably 1800s would be my guess. I can't remember exactly. But again, another beautiful book, gut-wrenching. It made me cry. Maybe it would make other people cry. I don't know. For me, I cried. It's one of the few books that really made me sad and gave me a big book hangover. And so yeah, I recommend this one. People start reading this and talking about it, please. The next book is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, or Sewell maybe. Again, another classic book that I don't hear people talking about. I don't even know if the movie still watched? I have the movie. I watch it, and I make my kids watch it with me. I love this book. I love the movie too. Again, I saw the movie before I ever read the book, but the book is just beautiful. The age range for this book goes a little bit younger, although I think it can be enjoyed by all people. I certainly enjoy it. Hopefully my kids will want to pick it up and read it. if you aren't familiar with Black Beauty, it's about a horse, and it's all written from the point of view of a horse and his life, just as he goes through his life experiencing the hardships that horses frequently have to go through, especially at the hands of people. Again, it's set at an earlier time period, and I can't remember exactly because it's been years since I read this, but I love it so much. It might be 1800s or early 1900s. So definitely it doesn't follow the life of a pet horse. Like many horses today probably live a little bit of an easier life than horses used to live when they actually had to work and pull their own weight, and they changed hands and they were a form of currency. And again, just another beautiful and sort of, it has some heartbreaking stuff in here, but spoiler, I guess, this book doesn't end on a completely horrible note, so there's that at least. The next book, again, that you'll probably hear me mention several times, actually, you'll probably hear me mention it many times throughout the course of me making YouTube videos, because again, this is one of my favorites, and that is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. Another, I think this one's a little bit more well-known still and talked about. I don't know how much people are still reading it. It wasn't an assigned read when I was in school, but I don't know, maybe it's still assigned. Another underrated book, I think it's lost its flame, so to speak, in the wake of newer books maybe. I don't know. I don't hear many people talking about it, but this is about a boy in the Ozark Mountains who his only thing that he wants in life are 2 hunting coonhounds. And so it's just about him acquiring those coonhounds and hunting with them, and it's really just a big story of love, feel-goodness, and then it will break your heart a little bit too. I know it did mine. It's so sweet. It's one of my favorite books ever, and I hope that my kids will want to read this with me. This book did help actually shape my life. As a consequence of this book, I now have my second coonhound. So yeah. And by the way, on the front cover, there is a coonhound. There's a blue tick coonhound, which is what I have. And I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can't. But Billy actually gets 2 red bone coonhounds. And the sun just hid. But yeah, that's the only issue I have with the cover of this book, is that Billy has 2 red bone coonhounds, so I'm not quite sure they chose to depict 1 red bone and 1 blue tick. Maybe that doesn't bother other people, but it bothers me just a little bit. And the last book is Watership Down by Richard Adams. Again, this is probably one you'll hear me mention more than once. I know I've already talked about it in other videos. This was a recent read for me. I finished it in December, and oh my gosh, how did I not know how awesome this book was? I picked it up and I bought it back in the summer, but how did I go through my life without knowing about this book? I don't even know. It's such a beautiful story, and I don't know why people aren't talking about it. As soon as I finished this book, I started asking everyone that I knew personally, have you read Watership Down? Have you read Watership Down? Have you read Watership Down? No one that I've talked to has read it or heard of it. No one's even heard of it, and I don't know how that's possible. I've only seen this talked about a few times on BookTube, twice I think, a grand total of 2 times, and I don't know why. This is a beautiful story, and it's beautifully written. It's just about some rabbits who go in search of a new home and their adventure and hardships when dealing with that. And this is just, I know when I say it like that, again, I'm probably not doing it any sort of justice. You know, I know some of you are already writing it off in your mind. Don't though, because it's so good. So good. So yeah, those were my top 5 underrated books that I personally love, that I would love to see more people reading again and talking about. I look forward to watching everyone else's videos, by the way, because this is fun. I like Top 5 Wednesday, especially subjects like this. So yeah, I will link to the Goodreads group below if you want to participate or see what the next topics are for Top 5 Wednesday. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below if you've read any of my books that I've mentioned here. And if you've personally enjoyed them or hated them or have anything to say about them, comment below. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.